Okay.
Starts with 3, ends on 3.
It started. Hey, what's going
Hello.
on? This is Crashcast. Our first podcast on this channel. Basically, this whole entire thing is because I was really bored and I was really brain dead yesterday and thought of this thing of actually creating a podcast on the channel in which we would talk about relevant news topics and as well as conspiracy theories and stuff which just annoys us because it's funny. So today we have got Thomas.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Okay. Then we have Mason.
Hi. Hello. I don't have anything to say. That's it.
Fair enough.
So sexy.
And now we've got Mitchell.
Such a way with words.
Jesus.
Oh,
Gosh, Mitchell, why are you even here?
Denzel! And we've got Denzel.
Oh,
Being held against
yeah. It's me, Denzel. I'm here too.
And yours truly, the only one that actually matters. Me!
again.
It's me.
It's Ron.
It's me. Who else? Who else would it be?
Me.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm at the minute I'm in the process of putting this on Ron Dog Vlogs. If you came from Ron Dog Vlogs, I just added like a link to the snap at the end of Ron Dog Vlogs, so people can actually join in. But I don't know if it's gonna work. They have to like swipe up. So I mean, it might not work. It might work. So yeah, okay, right. So what should we talk about first, fellas? Should we talk about British? Should we talk about British news first? Alright?
Sure.
British news. Alright.
British news. Alright, so now many people know Britain for, you know, London being pompous pricks.
Oh.
Awful.
Oh.
Yeah. Awful weather. And
Yeah.
you know, tea.
Definitely a top one. Definitely a top one.
Cooling stuff different, like from cookies to biscuits, from fries to chips.
I'm pretty sure it's chips to fries. I swear it's chips to fries.
No,
Yeah,
it's
it is.
fries to chips.
It's fries to
Americans
chips.
call it fries. We call it
Yeah,
chips.
yeah.
But
exactly.
they call crisps chips.
Chips.
This is just gonna be
yeah,
like 2 hours of this. Oh my God.
It's yeah. And I'll be, so yeah, basically, what's something we should enlighten our international viewers about Britain? We have a lot of kids killing each other. Knife crime.
Christ, Ronnie.
Literally.
Why do you sound so
Jesus
happy
Christ.
about that?
So,
We have a lot of kids killing each other.
honestly, come to Britain. You'll love it. You'll love it. Apart from the occasional you bump into someone. Oh, sorry, cunt. Apart from that, it's a really nice place.
Wow.
Especially-
You are really.
You're selling it, Ronnie. You're actually
I'm
selling it.
selling
You make
Britain.
it sound like everyone's impressions on Britain rely on like 3 17-year-olds talking about it.
Well, I just think Britain has got like a lot of praise, you know, and it deserves its praise, but people overlook the fact of how bad a country can be. We're in such a massive dilemma with Brexit at the minute, because no one truly understands what's going to happen.
I just love Ronnie talking about Brexit. Ronnie has no idea what Brexit even is. Right, Brexit. Immigrants.
I literally watch these like all the time, and my mum like, recites me like 2-hour Nigel
my God,
Farage
what did your mum
speeches.
say? Oh, do you remember? Sorry. Do you remember that time? Do you remember that time where like Ronnie's mum just did something completely whack, and I was like, "Oh, Ronnie, your mum
Basically-
definitely voted for Brexit."
Basically, my mum came into the room. I don't think she was drunk. I think she was full on sober when she came into the room and burst in. Ron, I promise, I know you're not going to believe me, but Obama is a lizard. There is no you can't tell me otherwise.
Obama is a lizard.
You can't. Mum, please just leave the room, please. And then, Mum genuinely believes that this conspiracy theory of the royalists and people in power are lizards.
Yeah.
and it completely baffles me.
Fair enough,
I mean-
the reptiles.
Why
all I'm
lizards,
really,
though?
all I'm
Why
really
they
hearing is a
choose
good
lizards?
potential guest for this podcast.
Yeah, my mum was a very good potential guest. We could have her in on this, but she would throw. She would not be a very happy guest on the show. That's why we're never going to have my mum on it.
Why?
Boring.
Do you want racial slurs in the live stream?
Yes.
Yeah.
Guys, no.
Alright guys, I'll
It
hook you
adds
up.
to the variety. Wait, no.
Adds to the racial slurs adds to variety. Adds diversity. Okay, so yeah,
God, no, I'm
going back to
sorry.
our main topic, Britain. Okay, knife crime in London, the biggest city in Britain, well, the most known, is capital city. Has a whole lot of death. That's mainly with 14-year-olds or teenagers carrying knives because they don't feel safe in their own streets anymore. Which I
Do you think
guess
that's fair
is.
enough, though? Do you think that's fair enough?
I guess it's fair enough, but you shouldn't be carrying a knife. You shouldn't be.
No shit.
No, I say it's fair enough that they should be scared, but like for them to go out and carry a knife and like actually use it, like people believe that I'm not going to use a knife, but when a situation comes up, who knows what they're going to do in fight or flight response?
But the problem is obviously they're at such a young age that they could have just been growing up around like knife crime and just kind of been like, well, I also need one as well, because how else am I going to defend myself from a knife?
Yeah, they're impressionable, and with like the suburbs of London, that's what people say. It's scary for them, so they have to be basically centered around violence, which shouldn't be right.
Thank you for did
Yep.
that.
Why is Mitchell here?
Can you actually die? Alright, you just die.
Can you just die, please? So, Thomas, what do you think of the knife crime? What do you think
What
children
do I think of knife crime?
Oh my god.
Is what is.
It is what it is. How? The question is how.
America has their guns, we have our knives.
Oh my
It shows diversity.
No, that's
Jesus.
this is not what I meant. I'm sorry.
What?
So basically, all I'm trying to say is that knife. I don't know how we're actually going to stop knife crime. I have no idea how the country's going to put law enforcement in place. Because you can't.
Don't make them anymore.
Right, get rid of knives entirely.
You see that knife? Get rid of it.
It's gone. It's out of here. So, does anyone have any any clue how we can stop knife crime?
Stop making knives. They'll run out
Wow.
eventually.
I mean, that's fair enough. But kids
so
will make
crazy.
kids will make knives.
Oh, that's so true.
That is
make
very true,
shivs.
actually.
They can totally make a shiv out of anything. If prisoners can make one in a prison cell, then the kids can literally
Well, then
look
there's
up
nothing
a
you
tutorial.
can do to stop it.
Well, no, that's not. No, there's
It's going to
plenty
spiral
you
out of
can do to stop
control.
it.
Alright, Dazzle, here's with some ideas.
What do you? Well, the whole
What
point.
can you do? What can you do to stop it?
The whole point isn't to tackle the actual problem itself, but the root of the problem. Am I right?
Oh, what is the real problem?
Yeah, what is
Yeah,
the
like you don't have to just like get rid of all knives.
say it's
You just have to
fear-mongering.
find a way to just discourage people from using knives
Why
in crime.
are they using the knives?
Obviously to defend themselves, and like, just because just
Bullets?
it's really hard.
Sometimes not, just to defend yourself. You just want to
Because-
stab someone.
Some
Because you
some
can.
kid could have anger issues, and that could make them completely irresponsible to using a knife. Like, I think with violence itself, like fist fighting, yeah, it shouldn't be done, but it's possibly one of the most safe ways compared to weapons. Like verbal disagreements and arguments are just stupid, but it's way better than taking it physical.
Okay, I just like to say that this idea I came up with isn't actually gonna work, but I was just like, what about knife licenses?
Knife license, it's like a gun
I
license.
you're a fool.
I know.
Why would...
I don't know, like, you have to have a license to have a knife, but then I realized, wait, cooking would be impossible then without a license. So,
I mean,
yeah, no.
Jesus Christ, mate.
I know! Look, I said it was a dumb idea, but I didn't. I was kind of hoping that maybe it might have been a smart idea because it was so dumb. No, it was just a dumb idea.
The problem with like creating a solution for this is that like it's so easily worked around. Like, how are you going to prevent the kids from carrying knives? Like, you could like have metal detectors on the street, like as you're walking
Get rid
through.
of their pockets and bags.
Like, it's such a hard thing to actually prevent, and I don't think the only way we could ever stop it is by making the children believe that they shouldn't be scared. But ultimately, they're just going to be scared because of like the amount of like horrible things that was going on.
And also because it's London, it's just so densely populated. You're gonna have like so many dangerous people in one place. When
I went to London on a school trip, I was like, this place is gonna seem cool. Everyone, literally every citizen every civilian I walked past, they were either angry or in a rush, and it was just such a weird feeling from being from this place in Norfolk, that it's like no hustle and bustle, it's, you know, all calm, to being in London where like people are always on the move, always on the go, and they always seem they've got a chip on their shoulder, and so that's very intimidating for anyone from outside. But for kids to be grown up and used to it, they can only retaliate apparently with a knife, which I can't believe. Because I don't think knife crime happens a lot in different rural areas, like in villages. I think it's London, a big city, where there's just too many people and there's too many like buildings and businesses for people to, you know, be relaxed and calm. Like getting off the train in London, it was terrible. Because people were pushing everyone out of the way, and I was like, what is this? And then people have got lives to get on and go with, and I was like, wow, okay. But because I don't live in London, I could easily say, yeah, I'm not going to resort to knife crime, to stabbing someone because I'm angry. But if that's what they're used to, how are we going to prevent it? I don't.
Denzel, like you lived in London for a little while, didn't you?
I lived in there for the first, like, 7 years of my life,
Yeah.
It was...
Do you believe that, it could have been possible that, like, in other, situations you could have resorted to knife crime, or do you think no?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, Mason. The London environment is completely different from, like, the environment here. Yeah. Like, you're not gonna... You got the Downham and Watlington massive.
Oh! Watch out!
But trust me, when I say they are nothing compared to what actually happened. Like, actual gangs in London. Like, of kids even younger than them as well, like, they can do some... It is just about your, like, secondary socialization. Like, your peers, your role models, those people like will affect who you become. So
it's mainly just like the nurture you experience while you're there resorts you to like the crime.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because my parents have families from London, and I was the only one that wasn't born in London. And they were they'd always tell me stories of how amazing it was. Up until now.
It's an amazing city. It's the greatest city in the world. But there are problems.
And now every time they talk about it, they just like always slate it now. Because, you know, they realise that it's terrible. And I'm just like, wow, I wish I could have lived in London to see what it was back, I don't know, 30, 20 years ago. Because right now
the problem hasn't just started out of nowhere. It's that the problem's increased. Like, knife crime was a problem back in those days as well.
It's just the fact that, like, the more people that do it, the more people it affects, so... It's just like, it's one of those things that over time it's just gonna get worse and worse unless if someone does anything about it. So.
I mean,
Correct.
I have no idea how people are going to solve it. The only way is just by... The only way you could ever solve it is by... I'd say is just try and put less pressure on...
Less pressure on what?
On the kids, because they're scared. They're scared for their life. And I feel like you have to try and enforce...
because of other people.
Yeah. And you have to try and enforce that, because that's the only way that's going to solve it, but that's how are they going to do that?
To be fair, it's not only... That's not the... There's plenty of different reasons to why people are carrying knives.
Oh, because...
Like, it's not just to... Like... protect themselves.
That's what I would have thought, at least. I mean, I wouldn't think there's some psycho killer kids. But there might just be.
Well, it's, again, like Denzel said, it's who you grow up around.
Yeah.
Like, if you grow up, like say if you grew up with your family in a gang, you're probably gonna at some point end up being involved with it. Because you can't really just get away from it if it's happening at home.
You can't escape that. So yeah, Mitchell, what do you think about knife crime?
What? Sorry?
That's fitting. I had a police siren in the back. I said, what do you think about knife crime? Like, do you think it's just something we'll probably never be able to solve properly?
Yeah, I don't
But
think
you
there's
also
really
want to be
way
a police officer, so you know your opinion should have
there
a
isn't
good.
really a way to stop it. Like, you
Well,
can
that's not
reduce
true.
it. No, you can reduce it, but it won't ever stop.
True.
Like, people are always just, like... It's not like we can just be like, oh, let's, like, crack down on robbery or something, and then it'll go away eventually. Everyone's, like, people are still gonna rob. Like, it just won't be as much.
Speaking of like robbery, you know that in the 1980s, only 8% of robberies were sold, like burglaries are actually like solved, and now it's only 3%.
Well, it's even less percent.
It's even
Yeah.
less.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know, right?
I wanna
That's
think
actually shocking. 3%
Wait, is that like
of
getting
burglaries.
mugged in the streets or like
No, that's like
Your house.
Your house, like being
Actual, like, breaking,
yeah.
entering, and then stealing something.
I mean,
that's bad?
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense.
But that's
Not-
just due to the lack of police and like lack of funds and police priorities.
Yeah, my sister had got her house burgled whilst they were all asleep, and the police never caught who done it. They never found out, so that's why they moved house. They're in like somewhere completely else now. Well, they got a guard dog after it because all they done was they took money and they took electronics. They took a quad bike from there. And so when they, woke up to see everything's gone, they're just like, what? They were terrified, obviously. And so they got a German Shepherd named Poppy. And they were waiting for the police to solve, and they just couldn't find anything. The police couldn't do anything. And I was like, wow, jeez. So that's when they decided to move house. Because...
Which is weird, because you would have thought, like, the security of, like, to stop people from robbing your houses would have gone better over time.
Like,
But I
all,
guess
like,
it's
DNA
also,
evidence.
like, burglars are, like, probably more aware of those offences as well over time. So, like, just as much as security's improved, so is burglary. That makes sense.
It's like the fact that like no one will never know the perfect crime, because who the hell if it's a perfect crime, it's not going to be solved, and no one's going to see like the perfect murder. It's not going to be known. So yeah. Okay, that's the first topic. That was how was that, gamers? How was that? That was good, wasn't it?
It kind of just got a bit depressing.
I don't think anyone really knows.
Really knows what?
Or like about it. About the crims.
I mean, none of us are like criminals, so.
We're just
Thanks, I
people
thought
who
you
have to stand by and watch.
10-time life sentence.
Mason, why you got...
Like, I thought you were death rowing, mate.
Well, I mean, you don't know me.
Yeah. Mason's out himself. Alright, 10 years in the future after Mason's a murderer, they're gonna look at this as evidence. And they're gonna arrest you on this sole charge. Is that... You don't know me. So yeah.
Do you think that they would actually use that as evidence in a trial? Be like, well, he clearly said.
No, I mean, maybe
okay,
we don't know. We don't know how far crimes are like not going to be solved in the future. They just had to resort like to a last resort of, well, you said these 4 words. You don't know me. Fucking, you done it. So basically, after the crime, what comes hand in hand with the topic of crime?
6ix9ine.
6ix9ine. So 6ix9ine. Okay, we love him or hate him. Love him. I personally. Okay. I like 6ix9ine. I like him as a person and his music. Thomas, what do you think about 6ix9ine? Daniel Hernandez.
When he wasn't in prison, it was annoying.
Mm-hmm.
So I just stopped listening to his music because it was just annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Only when he went back to prison, I was like, it's not too bad.
Prison changes someone's opinion, you know? That's just how it is. Mitchell, what do you think about 6ix9ine?
Well, never met him. I don't really listen to his songs. You know what?
But
He's pretty damn cool for going to prison.
Oh,
Top bloke.
top man then. Denzel, what do you think about 6ix9ine?
Gummo.
Right, okay, so, I am personally looking forward to his return. Yeah, okay, he snitched, okay? But if I was in 6ix9ine position, and like I was facing, I don't know, what was it, like 47 years?
I don't know what it was.
After like racketeering and... Yeah, it was something, he was going to get out
What
when he
was
was
it
16.
actually for? I forgot what it was for.
Racketeering and like, but it's stuff to do with gangs and fraud.
He got 40 years for that.
Because he's done lots of it. So...
People get 15 years for murder.
Yeah. It's stupid.
That's mad.
But he had the opportunity to reduce his sentence by snitching on a gang he knew of. It was a gang he was affiliated with, at least. And you know, big thing to do, but I completely understand it, because I would totally snitch if it reduced my sentence, so I could actually have a life. Would you guys do that?
No.
You wouldn't snitch?
No.
Depends.
Are you mad?
If it was...
Are you mad?
Are you actually mad? Like, you would actually stay? You would actually not have a life?
Oh my god! No. Judge looks at me like, alright, so just tell us, and I'm like, snitches get stitches.
Some people use that as
That's a trial.
God.
So basically, Denzel says he would snitch.
Hell no.
Holy snitch.
Mason, you snitching? Mason, you snitching?
Well, yeah, because obviously it's a gang that aren't doing
Listen, hold
good
on.
things.
Yeah, but you're a part of that gang.
You were
I
a part
know,
of it.
but you still know that they're not doing good things. You can
But
put an
Mason,
end
why
to
would
it.
you care? You were a part of them.
But no, after you've gone to prison, you'd have to completely change your opinion of him, because
You're
it
supposed to
actually,
like witness protection or something.
yeah. And people still say, "Oh yeah, he's
I
gonna."
think he refused that,
Did he?
and he's just gonna hire like 24/7 like bodyguard protection.
If he's got the money, he can do it. Thomas, would you be a snitch?
Yep.
See, and now Denzel's the only one who wouldn't. I'm thinking Denzel's lying because there's no way, there is zero way you're going to be like, yeah, I actually don't want to have a life. I actually don't want to go back to see, you know, my wife and stuff like that. I actually just want to stay in because I could tell a couple secrets, you know. Like, what? It's such
if you did do it, you would probably lose, like, all of, like, your faith, I guess, in, like, the criminal underworld. I made that sound so weird. Being like, people associated with them, they'd never trust you ever, and probably try and, I don't know, attack you again.
Yeah, kill you. But if you're someone with 6ix9ine who's got money, and he's got, like, and, you know, money buys power, obviously, he can protect himself so easily. So I'm just like, you know what? 6ix9ine, you've done a good job. You've done a good deed. Now just
6ix9ine.
Just get out of prison and make. I really hope you've made a prison album. You know, like all song ideas in your head, and it's gonna be so sick.
I got murder on my mind.
Oh, you already know. So yeah, crime and 6ix9ine go hand in hand. We know that. Okay, so another story. Okay, how about we go for what's on my list? Okay, should we do a conspiracy theory game? Should we do a conspiracy theory?
Sure.
Okay, right. I want to do the most popular one, so we actually kind of all have an idea. Okay, now what do you think is one of the most popular conspiracy theories of all time? Thomas, what do you think is one of the most popular ones?
Popular conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Got 9/11 in there.
Oh, okay.
Being if it was like fakes or like it was plans.
Yeah.
Like,
We'll talk about that first. We'll talk about 9/11 first. Mason, what do you think is a big conspiracy theory?
God, mine's gonna sound really lackluster in comparison. Just straight up Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, yeah, Bigfoot is a really big conspiracy theory. Because people genuinely believe he's out there, even though it's been disproved by the person who set up the whole entire start of it, saying it was a joke. But people genuinely believe there is Bigfoot out there. Mitchell, what do you think is a big conspiracy theory?
I don't know, like aliens building stuff in the past. Like,
aliens. Because we'll never know if they're real, you know, unless they come down and visit us and people don't try and hide it. Like the government. Like the Roswell incident in 1964? Oh, 1946. Yeah, so it was a UFO incident that happened near Area 51, and people believed it was a UFO, and actually wasn't. That's what the government said anyway. So, Denzel? Do we have technical difficulties with Denzel?
Aren't technical, it's just him being stupid.
He's just being a bitch. What's new? Okay, should we talk? Okay, one of the biggest ones I know of is, did the Americans fake the moon landing? Did they?
No.
I don't know.
Okay, well, gamers, let's start off with 9/11. So, look, the reason why people believe 9/11, there's many reasons why people believe it was an inside job. Bush did 9/11. It's practically a meme at this point. But people believe that it wasn't orchestrated by, you know, terrorists. It was orchestrated by the American government because they wanted to go to war to gain resources. That's okay. And so they basically wanted to go to war to gain resources and basically start the Iraq War.
Wait, what are we talking about?
We're talking about 9/11. We're doing a conspiracy theory.
Oh, what was the conspiracy theory?
Well, that 9/11 was, you know, staged by America. Not it was an inside job.
Yeah, I've heard about that one.
So yeah, the main argument is that Bush, you know, wanted to go to war with Iraq, but he didn't have any way to actually do it without saying, I want to go to war. So he basically made up a lie and said that, he made up 9/11 happening and blaming it on the Iraq people. So he was like, yeah. In reality, it was the Americans that staged it all and done it because he wanted to go to war and gain. People believe that the evidence suggests if you look at the buildings collapse, that people say when the buildings actually explode before the plane hits. It looks like an It looks like a demonstration. It looks like a demolition, basically, where it all collapses in on itself. Because when people say that if a plane would have hit a building, then the building is most likely going to fall any which way the plane hit. Which makes sense, obviously. Mm-hmm. But if you watch the video back, it all collapses in on itself. And that's what a demolition is.
I mean, well, it depends. Like, if a plane was going to hit a building, like, if it destroyed, like, say like the left side of the building, it would probably then fold in on itself, because then like the top would lean like to the left and then kind of collapse on the bit. Does that make sense?
I see what you mean. I just would have thought if something with like a trajectory was hitting like a stationary object, it would fall over and whatever the trajectory of the object hit it with. But no, it just fell straight down, so it didn't harm any other buildings in the process, because that's people believing, you know, that's why it was staged. So yeah, there's multiple survivors that said I had explosions before the bombs, before the planes actually hit, and saying that blah 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 blah. And then like the thing that there's another plane that hit, was it the Pentagon? A plane hit the Pentagon at the same time of the 9/11, but the plane was like so much smaller than what the actual hole was. And people were just like, there's no way, you know, a plane could have done that. And so people genuinely believe that 9/11 was an inside job, because Iraq war wanted to happen because of Bush. What do you think, gamers? Do you think 9/11 was an inside job?
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
No.
You don't think it is?
It seems like there are so many other ways that they could have done this, or like have done something similar to that without actually doing it on that scale, if that makes sense. It seems like a lot of effort to go to, and actually like a lot of lives to take to do it.
Terrorists, you know, their main thing is causing terror, and that struck many nations and countries. And I feel like, yeah.
With like the fucking building like collapsing in on itself or whatever, and it should have like tilted because of rain. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure planes, like, they're fast. But I don't think like the building actually has time to tilt. Like the plane will go straight through the building, and then blow up, and then that will cause it to collapse. It's not like it lands just in the side of it, and only the side of it. So if it gets stuck on the side, it's gonna go straight through, and then like obviously blow up there.
But, yeah, the plane in the 9/11 attacks didn't go straight through. I don't think it stayed inside the building. And blew up inside.
Just imagine though, being in the plane at the time. Oh my god.
Yeah, that must have been terrifying. But that's what they would have liked. That's what terrorists would have.
It'd probably be the most terrifying thing ever.
But that's what terrorists wanted to do. They were happy. They were happy for being a martyr.
That's what they want to do. Let them do it.
Let them do it. That's his cause. That's their cause. So. Basically, I don't think it was an inside job. I think terrorists really wanted to just hurt America, and they done it in an extremely.
If we all don't think it's an inside job, then we shouldn't talk about it. Then it's like that's not interesting.
But I like displaying the facts of like people thinking it isn't, because it's actually pretty interesting. At the same time, like
but then it becomes less of a discussion and more just like a lecture.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I can see like why you'd want to like tell people about the information, but it just feels like then if that's the case, a podcast is kind of like the wrong format.
Fair enough. I mean, I just thought it'd be cool, but thanks, guys. You know, I guess I'll stop the fucking stream,
I'm with you,
pricks.
Ronnie. I thought it was cool.
Thank you. No, you know what? That was fun. I enjoyed that. 35 minutes. Fuck you, we're carrying on. Fuck you, we're carrying on. I'm talking about conspiracy theory because I think it's pretty cool. I personally believe that the moon landing was faked. I think it was faked.
I think the landing was fake.
I think the moon landing was faked.
I think it was pretty real.
I think it was also fairly real. Well, no, it was real, not fairly. That's.
You know, it was slightly real. There was a bit.
Yeah,
of,
you know what? Like, I mean,
there,
I can kind of believe that parts of it were real.
No, it was just real. Like, why would it be fake? Like, why is it?
Oh, the reason it'll be fake, literally,
to win the fucking space
Russia
race.
and America, Cold War space race. No, it would have nothing to do with money.
Money. Dollar bills. Give me 50 quid.
Give me 50 pounds. Basically, you know, people say with the moon landing, you know, there's stuff in the videos that show, you know, like the flag, you know, moving and flapping about, and which it shouldn't have because there isn't any oxygen or air in space. It's a vacuum, so it should just say stationary. But in the video, obviously, it was moving about, in which it shouldn't have. What else? People said that, I mean, it would have been extremely hard at the time, 1969, like, to get to the moon. What's it called? There was another like thing in the reflection of Neil Armstrong's spacesuit, and it's like, what's it called? What are they called? Like the face part.
I've also heard people say it was fake because apparently radiation would fucking kill them before they even got there.
Radiation would apparently kill them, which is,
radiation will kill them. So you're saying that no one's ever been to the moon then ever?
I mean, how would we know?
Maybe.
How would we know if they got to the moon? We'd have no idea. But if we think like that, then anything that the government tells us, we're going to be like, yeah, but how do we know? How do scientists prove this? You know, they could just be making all this up, and we'll just go along with it. So we can't. That's why people are saying we can't think like that, because we're just going to doubt everything, and that is where tinfoil hat people come in.
Wait, what? Where?
And they, you know, doubt the government and everything they say because we don't know. Because if they don't know it, then if I don't know it, then why should I believe it? That's basically their argument. It's like people will see ghosts. People don't believe in ghosts because they haven't seen a ghost. And personally, I don't.
People will believe in ghosts if there's evidence of it happening.
Yeah. And there's like people claim there's been evidence, and they're just like videos of like dolls moving on their own, and like.
I guess that's why some people struggle to understand the moon landing for some odd reason. Is just probably because they believe there is enough evidence, and the little that we do. See, like, because obviously you can't really get that much evidence of a moon landing because it's in space.
Yeah.
I guess if there was more evidence towards it, like, say if there was, like, well, this sounds so dumb, but, like, I don't know, say if it happened, like, in today's age, if there was a live stream of the entire thing happening, people probably wouldn't doubt it as much.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, or am I shouting absolute, like...
No, that makes sense. I mean, people, even with, like, people can refuse to watch, like, videos, like, people, like, and just, like, not believe what the government tells them. Like, you know, 9/11. People, like, everyone saw the planes go in because it was filmed. The John F. Kennedy assassination, people believed that it was, you know, staged. Because...
Yeah, people believe that it was the CIA that killed Kennedy.
Yeah, the FBI, CIA... people said that it could be them, or it could have been the Soviet Union hiring Lee Harvey Oswald because, you know, they wanted to kill the American president. So it was like, okay, well, let's get an inside man on the job. So and like video evidence, because that was shot live across the whole entire of America when he just died. And the same thing with, I'm pretty sure, was it Martin Luther King Jr. When he got shot, people believe, oh yeah, basically a year later after he shot, the guy came out and pleaded guilty. And then people say, yeah, but like, that guy was an actual killer because, it's the CIA and FBI again working with the Ku Klux Klan because they didn't want activists speaking up. And that's why they killed Martin Luther King.
It's amazing how in-depth all of these, like, ideas are.
Yeah.
Like, where do you think they actually come from? Like who's, like...
Non-professionals. They come from non-professionals.
Yes.
That is very true.
People who are allowed to be like, you know what? I don't believe this. People who have their own opinion. That's where it comes from.
Jeez, how dare they?
How dare they have an opinion? They just like to believe something else that other people don't believe in. And I feel like conspiracy theories are extremely scary because of that. Is that you could probably convince someone if they're that gullible. And that could change someone's whole outlook.
There's got to be some of them that are true.
You think so?
Like, every conspiracy theory out there can't be wrong. There's got to be at least some.
How will the conspiracy
The Illuminati. Do you think the Illuminati is true? That's a big conspiracy theory.
I don't even know what that is, though.
It's just
No.
It's basically a whole entire group that have been set around from the Bavarian crisis from 1700s. They decided, you know what, we're going to control the world. We're going to put these plans in motion that we're going to set out to the governments, and we're going to like bring in these people. And they said, all right, we're going to try the most influential people out there, businessmen, politicians, and so we can have this band where we just control basically the whole entire world. And they stuck at it since 1700s. And people believe, celebrities are in it and stuff like that because they're the most influential. Which is to me, I don't see it. I don't see the Illuminati being a thing. But then, how do I know?
I remember I saw an article just called top 10 celebrities that joined the Illuminati to become popular. It was the dumbest thing. I didn't even read it. I just looked at it and I was like, yep, that's not worth my time.
Yeah, I don't... Oh my god. It was crazy.
I think like the reason why conspiracy theories have also gone so popular, it's probably because of the internet, really.
I would say, I can't imagine conspiracy theories were very popular before the internet.
I know that people like to
be the alien ones and that.
Yeah.
I can imagine
classics.
aliens and ghosts always being that popular. But I doubt in 1067 they were the Battle of Hastings was an inside job. It was all part of the government.
It's inside job.
I don't think that would have been too popular back then.
Yeah, I think people were extremely oppressed back then. They couldn't really they couldn't even not believe in God, without probably getting killed. So they just tried their best to be extremely secretive, and if they're going to be secretive, people wouldn't actually have. There's no way we'd know if they had a say in matters like that. There could have been some crazy guys that actually thought the Battle of Hastings was an inside job.
Maybe.
But it's because, it's not as documented as social media status and internet here. That we'll probably never know. It's like people in the 20s, 30s and 40s. Most of them wrote their stuff in plays, their personal opinions in plays, is because, they couldn't say it in the real world. Like A Cat on a Tin Roof, that explores the theme of sexuality, of a homosexual man. and that was written in the 1920s, and you know that was very shunned upon back then. But because it was, you know, the writer, Tennessee Williams, didn't say anything about it. He just put all of his opinions into one play, and people would act it out. And then that's when people would be like, "Oh, I get it. Homosexuality isn't actually a bad thing." And and so basically that was their way of communicating. And now we have the internet where you could literally write. My mum writing statuses on Facebook.
Getting banned on Facebook.
Getting banned on Facebook.
Banned on Facebook.
Multiple times. She has multiple accounts because she does like racial slurs.
Not twice.
I was going to say that. You think she's an amateur?
You think she's not a pro? What?
Wait, what type of things does your mum say on Facebook?
Oh, she just...
You would want to know.
That we would
You
be
don't
able
want to
to
know.
say on this podcast.
That was stuff no one ever wants to know. But no, it's like... I know another one, like... Because she's very passionate about Brexit, you know? And she talks about it all the time. And she's just like, oh, fuck Northern Ireland off. I don't even drink Guinness. And I was like, okay, mum. Okay. She wrote that as a status. Is that, why are we still dealing with this Northern Ireland bullshit? Just fuck them off. I don't even drink Guinness. And I'm just like, okay, mum. Okay. And it's like...
Your household sounds chaotic.
It is. It's funny, though, because, like, you know, do you ever watch ITV? Good Morning Britain? And Piers Morgan and Susanna Reid. Basically, Piers Morgan, you know, he's very outlandish with his ideas, and people were starting to hate on him, but, like, boomers love him, because, you know, fucking boomers agree with him about gender and all that. And so then my mum just talks, like, and then Susanna Reid always has to, like, you know, say the opposite of what he says. But she's like, oh no, I believe it's amazing that they're doing this. And she was like, oh, stop, what? No, it's not amazing at all. And I just see my mum writing a statement, like, her fingers are tapping furiously on the keyboard. And I just see Susanna Reid, go back to your kids and wash the kitchen sink and make them food. Shut up, you bore me. And I was like, okay, mum.
Oh, God.
And it's just, it is funny. But then she's like, now she's come up with a conspiracy theory. The other day she was like, actually, Ron, I think they've put Susanna Reid on there and Piers Morgan to make sure they definitely have a defined clash of ideas to make it more interesting for the viewers. You know? And I was like, what?
Whoa, your mum's an actual brainiac.
Yeah, like, absolute brainiac. And it's stuff like that that makes you think, like, oh my god, could it? And then, like, stuff like... But it's just so stupid. Also... It's just so stupid.
Yeah.
It's like Starbucks. You know Starbucks. The people that work for Starbucks, you know, are normally, like, nice people. And, you know, they actually have to, like, do all these... They need to remember these orders correctly. They need to put them all into motion, do it as quick as they can so they can serve the next customer. They have to be very, you know, good individuals to actually do all this. Very competent, at least. But then, the main problem with stuff that what they're most known for is spelling people's names wrong on the cups. And people were just like, oh, that's because, you know, they're tired and, you know, they just can't be bothered up until that point. And they genuinely have no idea how a name is spelled. But some names are spelled ridiculously wrong. You know, James with, like, a V. Like, what? How do you
I
get that?
completely believe that theory about the Starbucks spelling your name wrong for free advertising.
Yeah, free, and people post pictures of it.
That's very believable.
Well, I want to hear what the conspiracy theory is, alright?
Yeah, I was trying to like, build up to it. But...
What is it?
And so basically people believe that, you know, oh my god, take a picture, post it on Instagram. Oh my god, they spelled my name wrong. How stupid is this? And then some people can look at the photo like, shit, Starbucks. I could go for a Starbucks right now.
Oh, stupid. Whoa.
And basically they get free publicity and advertisement. Because Starbucks, the company, tells its employees, oh, just mess up the name, so, you know, they basically give us free publicity.
Can one of us just work for Starbucks, please?
So you know, so you get to find out.
Find out the truth.
Don't worry, guys. I'm going to investigate all conspiracy theories. That's going to be my job.
Undercover.
Oh my god, it's going to be so sick. Okay.
Crashed undercover.
It's actually going to be all our conspiracy theories. So yeah, stuff like that as well. It's such a crazy idea, but then there's stuff just like, you know what, that could make sense. The government probably might tell them, you know, to give them out more, pumping out more fucking money for them. And there's ideas like, what's it called? Big one that people are scared of. Mainly America. I don't know if we do it here. I mean, we'll never know. But the government puts fluoride in the tap water. Yeah, and they say it's to keep, you know, dental health in check. But people believe that fluoride, you know, is making us, you know, weaker. You know, making us weaker and easier to control and less like, basically making us ill, kind of. Easier to control, and that's what the government are doing that, so we can actually be, you know. So if there was like a big revolution, we wouldn't be inclined to join it because, you know, it was like, oh, fuck it. And that's what fluoride done, because people, but back in Nazi concentration camps, that's what Hitler done. He used fluoride in the water to control them. Not because they wanted to keep their dental health in check. Like I don't think Hitler cared about that. So he used fluoride in the water, and the government are using fluoride in the water in America, at least. And people were just like, this isn't right. And then there's been Harvard studies saying that fluoride lowers IQ, and blah 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 blah, and just all that evidence to support it. But people, the government isn't acting on it because, well, they've got to lose.
Big brain.
No. Big brain IQ. Yeah, like stuff like that. So. I know with conspiracy theories, I know they're mainly all negative, aren't they? There's never a conspiracy theory that you're just like, oh, that's pretty cool, that's pretty funny. So it's like all like, you know, either to do with money, power, well, basically greed, if anything.
Well, I mean, I guess it's probably because why would you want to hide something good?
Yeah.
Like, what motivation would they have? And another joins the podcast.
We've got another to join the podcast. We've got a viewer, by the way, and they've gone. Okay.
By the way, I think that might have been me checking who's actually watching it. Because I was just checking if anyone's watching it.
So yeah, basically, I wanna put more research into positive conspiracy theories.
Mason, pick a character.
What?
Okay.
Bro, Mason's actually taken 10 years, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, we got a viewer, so...
Oh shit, yo, what's up? It's actually...
No.
Oh, okay then. Oh, it probably was me, I didn't turn off my phone.
You're giving us
and they're gone.
They're gone?
Yeah, and they're gone.
Okay with me, oh my gosh.
Jesus Christ, you actually had me. I had
you there.
Yeah, I actually had me. I was like, oh my god, someone's actually inclined to watch us. And
how bold
so
of you.
what do you guys think about, I don't know if you know much about it, but Satanists and the New World Order? What do you guys think about?
No idea about that stuff.
Oh, basically...
Zilch.
Alright, Satanists, yeah? Absolutely insane people. Yeah?
I
Bit rude.
Bit rude. But I don't... So, they say... You know, they like rituals and like human sacrifices and stuff like that. Because there's faith, you know, religion is just something crazy. And they basically believe in the New World Order. The New World Order is a way, it's basically the Illuminati, where a big group of people control the world, and one day they're just going to end it all. One day they're going to just kill off civilization, but keep the most, you know, fit people. Natural selection. And they're going to keep the most, you know, the perfect genes, people with, you know, ability to run, like, just really good people that actually help repopulate the Earth after they've basically destroyed it. So they do nuclear bombs, or depends how they're going to do it, no one really knows. And so the New World Order is basically put in place is because they don't like the world as it is. they think it's disgusting that there's so much rape, pillaging, murdering, blah 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 blah. That they want to just restart. They want to completely do all the new world, and this is because of.
It's just like the Noah and his Ark story, essentially.
Noah and his Ark. You mean Noah's Ark?
Yeah, I don't know why I said Noah and his Ark. That was me being dumb.
Noah and his Ark.
Yeah, the Ark is a completely separate thing.
Yeah, and so basically with see now the New World Order, I get it, but it's just so crazy. It's like people believe that, oh yeah, we should, you know, start over because this world's trash. It's awful, and it is, you know. We've got so much bad shit, but like that's because no one really focuses on the positive. If there is any.
I mean, the reason for that is probably just because people react more to negative stuff as well.
Yeah, our brains are inclined to focus on the negative. We're most likely.
What gets you to react more? Kitten saved by tree, or kitten dies from tree? Doesn't make any sense, I've realised, but...
Basically, die. It's a shock factor.
You probably care more about the fact that someone's dead instead of the fact that someone's been saved.
Our brains are inclined of believing in the negative. Like, if we get complimented, we're like, oh, that's really nice, but if someone insults us, we're going to be constantly thinking about that for a while. Because we're just like, oh, fuck. Why do you got to say that, man? And it's because our brain are, you know, you got to basically try and reprogram yourself to be like, hey, doesn't matter. Focus on the positive. No,
you've got to focus on both the good and the bad. You focus too much on the bad, you become a pessimist, and if you focus too much on the good, you begin to, like, blissfully ignore everything.
Yeah, but if you focus too much on the bad, you've got to start focusing on the positive as well.
Yeah, I know, but the way that you made it sound was just...
Yeah,
hey,
not all on the positive. If you focus all on the positive, you're going to be, like, very... If something bad does come your way, you're going to be extremely distraught. Because you're just like, oh shit, there's something I can't solve, or something I can't do. Well, guess I'll die. So, with stuff like the New World Order, I can see people's inclined to believe, oh yeah, we should basically just start over. You know, we should start over because our world is terrible now. And there's like evidence to support, like, I remember reading about this thing. It was about, basically, it was like a building. It's basically like, what was it, Stonehenge? But it was like one that was built more recently, and it had all these things on it. It had all these like basically like the 10, what was it? The Commandments, Testaments. I can't remember. Commandments. Yeah. So it's basically like that, where like, oh, we should keep the population of Earth to be 500 million only to help balance nature and, you know, nature and fucking life, so the world doesn't, so the Earth doesn't like die. So I get that, but if people are trying to like put that in motion by sacrificing humans and like killing animals, and it's just so. I just think it's crazy for people to actually believe that.
Done.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called. I'm pretty sure it's called the Georgia Guidestones. I think, yeah, and like it just has like
I'm sorry to leave like halfway through this, but I've got to go off. So
that's fair enough.
Have to leave the podcast.
Ah, well, it was very nice having you on here. You know, I'd say so.
Yay.
You spoke quite a lot, and that's what we like in a podcast.
Yeah, communication.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll probably do another one next week as well, so you might be, if you're on.
I probably won't be on next week. So
right, okay, fuck you.
It'll be a one-time. Yeah, bye-bye. Adios.
See you later. So, what do you think about the New World Order? What do you think, gamers? Thomas, what do you think?
Still don't even know what it is.
Basically, restart the world. Restart the world because our world's bad.
Just be a normal human being. That's what I reckon. That's what I reckon you do. You just be normal.
People want to be different.
Me. I'm a normal guy.
No,
Just
you
be
are not.
honest.
People were listening to you earlier. No, you are not.
Oh my god.
Okay, fair enough.
Right out, Mitchell.
Mitchell, what do you think about New World Order?
Well, I don't know. Like,
Mm.
where did that idea come from? Because like, is there people who just were part of like that group who just came out? It's like, oh yeah, we just made this thing.
So basically, people who went against people who worshipped the devil. They decided, yeah, they realized that the devil's basically in the Bible. The devil's basically gonna fucking wreak havoc upon the earth, and the Satanists want to be a part of that rather than being a part of the rapture, in where God is like, "Hey, I'm saving you because you good." And so people want to be followers and disciples of the devil, obviously. So that's where it stemmed from, and then they're just like, for when that time comes, when the New World Order comes, and the New World Order is basically put in motion by big government, big Illuminati people, they are going to be the ones that are going to be saved. So that's where it came from. And I to me, religion is a big crazy. It's a big crazy, you know. It's a big yikes for me, you know. It's
a big yikes.
It causes so much unneeded tension and just a whole lot of stuff, really. But if it gives people peace of mind, keep doing it. So Denzel, what do you think of the New World Order? What do you think?
Don't worry.
Okay, so Denzel's a prick. Okay, fun topic. Fun topic now, gamers. Right? Aliens. Are they real or are they not? Because
They're real. What do you mean?
I say
obvious.
I say they're real. But I'm gonna play devil's advocate here and say they're not.
Okay, what's the
Alright, what's your reason for thinking they're not real?
I don't know. That's what I mean.
Well,
God made us. God made us only, you know? He's the only...
Alright.
okay, so your argument is religion.
Religion.
Wait, what's going on?
Aliens, real or not, Tom Dog?
Aliens, obviously.
See, they're definitely real.
That is weird though, no. Instead of like arguing whether they're real or not, like actually think about that. That is generally like, aliens are a thing. We just haven't met them yet. How weird is that?
Are we ever gonna meet him?
Not in our lifetime.
Could though.
No, I have a discussion. Do you think time travel's a thing?
No.
I went deep into this with Leo, and to be fair, like it probably is.
I reckon it can be. It just doesn't work the way that we think
How do you
it
think
is.
it works? Because there's so many different like theories on like how time travel works.
Well, I don't know. Like, the way I think of it is like, if you like to go back in time, like, that your timeline is now, like, you going back in time, that is the present to you. Like, you're still in the present, but everyone else is obviously in the past. So, like, I don't think it would, like, so if you, like, met yourself, it wouldn't do anything, really. But, like, loads of arguments like, oh, if you meet yourself in the past, then the world blows up. I don't think that
butterfly effect.
You just meet yourself, you touch them, it's combustion.
The whole world.
I don't like that. I don't.
No.
You join a PlayStation 5.
Let's think about it like this. Let's think about it like this, right? So you have A and B, yeah. You have you, the past you is A, and you're B, and you've gone back to A, yeah, right? And if you're saying, so you're saying if you meet yourself, yeah, you won't affect anything. But surely, if I went back in time and met myself and like stopped and I like spoke to myself and made different decisions, then I would erase that me that's there no matter what. Like the current me, I would erase him because
Oh, that's so true, because then you might lead to a path that you didn't even discover time travel.
You get me. You must, like, that's my thing. You have to erase yourself.
And that's why I think time travel isn't real. It's way too complicated.
It's pointless, you change one decision, and you might not even get, like, time traveled. And then,
let's use my, like, broken ankles. So, like, when I broke my ankle, like, I had quite a few things planned. And, like, when I was doing it, genuinely, when I was doing the action that broke my ankle, it was 50-50. Like, me doing it and me not doing it. So, if I went back in time and stopped myself from doing it, I would change not only my life completely, but everyone else's lives around me.
Yeah.
Even your lives will be completely different.
That's why I just think it's not real then.
Nah, like what I'm saying is, like, you live only on one timeline, and if you go back and change it, like, it won't affect your timeline, it just affects that timeline. So whatever happened in your timeline still happens.
So you're going against what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's just a different timeline.
Mitchell's, what I would say, I think with Mitchell's, like, basically, you're the hero of your own story. You know?
Yeah.
It's life is subjective to you.
Yeah. Like, it's, like, you go, like, you're on your timeline right now. This, like, what's happening now and what has happened is your timeline. And if you go back and change something, it won't affect your timeline, it will affect the timeline of that you.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I'm saying.
Right, so you're saying for alright, so, like, let's look at it in this way. It might be me, I might explain this awfully, I might explain this really well. But in other words, alright, so imagine a line, your timeline's a line, each second, so wait, Mitchell, even if I went back in time like a second, that's a completely different timeline from the current me, yeah?
Yes.
So, for each second, each microsecond, like each nanosecond, like, that me has a different, I have these infinite, like, different timelines.
Infinite, okay.
And me going back would mess up that line, not my line, so nothing would change in my timeline. So so you're basically saying if I killed like my mum or dad in that timeline, I would still exist.
You'll still exist, because that's a separate, like.
Nah.
Basically, what I'm getting at is like it's a different. Basically, it's like the alternate universe theory. It's basically like that. Like you go to a different like universe of the universe you're on now. But like you can kill yourself on that world, but you'll still exist because you're not from that world. Like I'm just applying that to timelines.
Yeah.
I'm liking Mitchell's theories.
You think Mitchell's a series, right? What more than mine?
I like them. Very sexy.
See, Mitchell's theory would support time travel more because, you know, that's why I believe time travel isn't possible, because with Denzel's theory it's way too complicated. But it's more real.
The thing is with like Denzel's theory, I was just thinking about it, because like it would just like be a constant like just change, because there's obviously someone who's like, if time travel just becomes a normal thing, like, and a majority of people can actually access it, like the timeline would just actually be fucked. And like I just didn't think we like obviously we could be living a different like timeline from something else, but like I don't know, I just think like this wouldn't be going on and it'd just be like constantly changing.
No,
obviously,
but
there's no way of us to know
about
that.
The changes. Exactly.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I just don't think that, like, you fuck something up on the timeline is permanent to your timeline. Or applies to your timeline.
Nah, I think it... So, nah, I mean, I get your theory, but I still think, like, it affects you. Like, you get erased.
Fair enough. I just think it's cliched.
Sounds like a cliche.
To be fair, what Leo said about it, Leo said something like really like it did blow my mind a little bit. Like, oh, it was so.
What did he say?
I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was like a whole, like, 2 minutes of just him talking about it, and like, oh, it was just insane. I was very proud of Leo. I was like, no, Leo, that was actually really, like, mad. Holy shit. I'm actually gonna tell him to come on. Come on and talk about it.
See, the thing is, like, I don't believe time travel will ever be real. I mean, there are times where I've been like, where like, I see someone in public and they look like a very older version of me. It was like, nah. And I'm just like, yeah, what am I thinking? But then that...
Wait. What? Sorry, Ronnie, what did you say? Like, what do you think about time travel?
Well, I just don't think it's real, but like, I don't think it could ever be real. But like, then there's times
Surely it has to be real.
Not... It's science fiction.
It might not be real as in, like, the idea of what we've got of it. It might just be, like, another form of, like, time travel.
Yeah, that's what Leo... Like, yeah, he was talking like a different, like, type of, like... He wasn't talking about the way we're talking about it. He was saying it in, like, a different, like, sense, like, a different, like, concept. Time travel is, like, it's just different.
What's going on, Faye? What's happening? Faye's in the chat, gamers. Faye's watching.
It's not something that we can comprehend yet, or something, is what I think. And
yeah,
and the way we've, like, interpreted it is probably not at all what it actually is.
If it even is a thing.
Yeah.
I see it all like a Telltale game, really. Like infinite versions of yourself, but each interaction that you have in your life where you're contemplating different decisions, there's infinite realities where you went through and went with every single combination of options. So if you think about a Telltale game, the game can play out in each game and each season probably a million different ways. There's probably a million different combinations of voice lines and whatnot. I think it's like that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't think... Faye wants a shout out.
No.
Go Game 12334. Say hey to Connor for me. Faye says hey.
Oh, Faye.
But you said no, so I'm just like, right, feels bad. So yeah, basically, I basically don't think it's real at all. And if it was, there are cases of time travel, as in like not the way that we think of it, but when people going into space, they come out a few seconds younger or a few seconds older. Because I can't get into the science of it, because I watched this thing ages ago when I was really young, and it was just saying that like if this person was revolving around an object in space and then came back to Earth, they would be younger because blah 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 blah. I can't remember. So I don't think time travel's ever going to be possible, and if it is, it's going to ruin something.
I mean, I think
Face said British 9/11.
I think it's definitely possible, but not. But I think it all depends on how long Earth actually lasts for, how long humanity lasts for. If humanity is going to last for an infinite amount of time, then time travel is going to happen at some point. Like, it's just a fact, it will happen at some point. But if there's only a finite number of years on Earth, then no.
Well, there is only a finite number of years on Earth, like... Because the sun's eventually going to explode, or we're going to be the cause of our own downfall with like global warming and stuff.
But we could figure out
we're going to get extinct. We're going to be erased eventually. There's no question about that.
Yeah, but it depends how far, because if we're talking about the sun blowing us like billions of years from now, or an asteroid just come here right now, just we're dead, gone. Literally, and that's a constant worry. That's a constant worry of mine. And just like the world could just end like that. We'd have.
Apparently, I think it was like a year ago, a few months ago, but there was an asteroid like big enough to like actually like wipe us out. That just went straight past us.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it was like thousands of miles off. But if you were like huge and you looked at it, it was pretty close.
Yeah. People believe that Planet X, Nibiru's, was going to end the world. There's a whole entire book in it. It was basically called
a racist planet.
It was called the 12th Planet, and people believe there was this planet that was on a trajectory course heading to destroy anything in its path, because it had such a massive magnetic pull to anything. And so then it would literally, and it was massive, it was a massive planet, so it could literally wipe out anything. And so then it wouldn't affect planets, you know, made out of gas or anything, because it didn't have magnetic pull, it didn't have iron or an iron core. So, like, people believe Nibiris, Planet X, was going to come to Earth, and it just hasn't happened yet. But people are speculating that it will. But scientists say Planet X isn't real, and it's just not real. And then people are like, but it is. Like, okay. So yeah, going with the multiverse theory. Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question here, gamers. Okay. I've said this opinion many times before, but do you think ghosts are real? I don't think ghosts are real.
I don't think so, actually.
I have a theory of what ghosts are.
What do you think?
I think ghosts, if we're talking about the multiverse theory, I'm thinking ghosts are... they said not for years and years. I think ghosts are... Basically, think of... many people see their dead relative as a ghost, rocking in a chair, and be like, oh my god, that's my nan, or something like that. And that could easily be, you know, someone imagine it could be the wind. But what... if there truly is no other explanation of why a chair could be rocking, or something just fell off, then I believe a ghost is someone from a multiverse flickering into our universe for a second, and then disappearing. Because some time thing in the universe just went whack, and it was like a glitch, basically. I believe that if you had a dead relative...
time travel somewhere, and that causes the glitch.
I think that really depends on what you define as a ghost.
So I don't think it's dead people at all. I think it's someone that's living in another universe. That's why mainly relatives, or like a dog, say like a dog. If you hear your dog, if a dog died recently and you hear your dog barking outside your house, or inside your house, and you could be like, oh my god, what? And then there was nothing there. That would have just been your dog from another universe where it was alive. But it just went into our universe for a second and disappeared.
Very interesting.
That's what I think, because there's no way dead people are ghosts. There is no energy. There's no... like, I don't see how people could think... I think
it's a coping method.
It's a hallucination.
Dead people as a ghost. I feel like that's just a means of coping.
It's a big old hallucination.
I personally like to believe that dead relatives, pets, whatnot, I like to think there's an energy there, or they're watching over you. I'm not a Christian, I don't believe in heaven, but I don't believe in a physical spirit. I almost see it as like, you know, when people will see a white feather and they'll think of their most recently deceased relative. They'll see a white feather. Have you not heard of that?
No,
that's
never heard of that. What's that?
Very big thing in my family, personally. And there's been so many weird, like really weird instances with it. A white feather will just, it's almost like it naturally spawns somewhere where you look a lot or something, like underneath the driver's seat of your car or something. And we saw a lot of white feathers in very random locations when my grandmother passed away, which, as some of you might know, was a year, just like a year and a half ago. The day after the funeral, we saw a white feather on the passenger seat of the car as I went to get in. I prayed before my exams with my grandmother, and as I walked in the exam hall, there was a feather underneath my desk. A white feather. It's very weird instances. So in that sense, I do believe in an energy like that, but I don't believe in like not physical, but like a ghost. I don't believe in an aura of a person kind of just sitting in your room watching you. So in that sense, I don't think ghosts exist.
Bro.
But I do believe in like an afterlife spirit.
See now, like with my family, like I don't think they do. I don't know if even ghosts exist, but I remember I was young at the time, but my brother, his best friend Louis, his best friend died. I think they were both 16, and his best friend died because they were walking home from Watlington one night. And my brother went the other way, and Louis went the other way, and Louis got hit by a train.
Really?
Yeah. And my brother had a massive tattoo in his arm, you know, dedicated to Louis. And apparently the next night, he had this text, and he was just sobbing. And it was from Louis' phone, and it said, "I miss you." And he was like, "What the fuck is this?" And he thought it was someone playing tricks on him, because Louis' phone was wrecked in the train, in the train collision.
How the fuck did he get hit by a train?
He was listening to music.
Just obviously just walking down the road, Denzel. Just walking down the road, as you do. Train. Comes along the road.
He just like gets to his like front door, just opens the door. Train.
Wait. So he was listening to. But what about the crossing?
He just left. They got off the train. I think, and I think they got off the train and they waited around for another friend to appear, but his friend never actually came. So then Louis, I think Louis put in his earphones and was walking, and he was just, I think James left to go to Magdalene. Yeah, James left, and when Louis was walking, I guess he just crossed the train tracks, and I think he just got hit too soon.
A fair few people have died on the Watlington train tracks, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good idea of me bringing up names of people, but one of my friends' older brother, who would be like 25 maybe, he died when he was about 16 in Watlington.
So yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, the thing that shocked him the most, James the most, was the fact that he got a text from Louis' number saying "I miss you" the day after. But there's no way he could have got that, because Louis' phone obviously fucking got destroyed, and he has no way of explaining or proving it of what the hell it could have been.
He has text.
He has it in his phone because we kept all of Louis' stuff. He kept all of Louis' stuff.
So he does have evidence of it.
Yeah, as in like he doesn't know how it could have come about, how it could have actually happened. And so, you know, that's always rocked him ever since. And I'm just like, I don't believe ghosts are real. I think, if anything, there's something else from a different universe.
What do you think happens after you die?
Nothing. Just nothing. I just think it's sleep. I just think it's an eternal sleep.
I guess that kind of makes me feel better. I hope it's like, you actually don't know, if you get me, I hope you don't know that you're dead. Because if I'm just like there.
If it's like limbo, that's terrifying.
What's limbo?
Well, just darkness, and you're just trapped, and you're just like, you know you're dead, and you're just there, and you can't escape.
So hell then.
No,
hell's like, you know, like then it's like flesh, fire, blah blah blah, but it's just black. It's just darkness.
I really do, like, I feel like that's one of the things that I want to know about most. What happens when you die.
Yeah,
I also want to know what sleep paralysis actually... Have any of you actually had sleep paralysis ever?
Yeah, I've had it a couple of times.
I think so as a child, but I'm not 100% sure. I was like 6 at the time.
It terrifying.
Is the worst thing, like, ever happened to you, like, ever. Like, it used to happen to me, like, once every, like, month. Like, when we come back, like, late from London, it would just happen to me. When it, like, it happens to me, like, once every, like, twice a year now, probably. Like, I know how to, like, not have it. Like, so, like, I'm gonna explain to you in the best way I can. But it genuinely is. Like, when I used to, like, not be able to, like, withstand it, and, like, just not have it anymore, when it would happen to me, you actually have your eyes open, you can't move, and it's blurry, and then you literally do see, like, something standing there. It's awful. I don't know why, you think about like you see something standing there. Like in my head, it was always like a shadowy, like kind of like girl, witchy figure. It was.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So it's a dream then, not an actual.
No, it's not a dream. It's
No,
not
it's,
a dream.
it's not a dream.
It's not a dream. It's real life.
It's
But
a hallucination.
Obviously, don't get me. Yeah, it's like some sort of hallucination.
But you can't stop it until it goes away. The
way I control it, like if it ever happens to me again, it hasn't happened to me in months and months and months. But when it did happen to me, like when I started to be able to like control it, all I'd do is close my eyes again, like tight, and then I'd try and move, and then I'd wake up. But if you have your eyes open and you're looking at it, you can't actually. That's why I imagine being paralyzed to feel like completely like next to the bone, like next to the foot. You are the weirdest thing on earth.
I was 12 when it happened to me. That's my first time ever happening, and it was. I hate it. I couldn't. I remember getting into bed, and I used to always make faces out of anything in the dark, and I was like, oh, that's terrifying. Why am I thinking like that? And I was like, oh, I guess I'll go to sleep then. And I was just trying to close my eyes. I was like, why can't I go to sleep? And I was like, it just wasn't.
Yeah, I feel like it happens as well when you try too hard to sleep.
Yeah. I was worried about this. I was worried about this like figure, and I was like, that ain't real. I'll go to sleep. And I was trying to get to sleep, but I couldn't move my arms or my legs.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, what? Hey,
I noticed as well when I was like experiencing like quite bad. I have like once every month, like when if this makes sense, when I try to, because I feel like this tingling in my head, and I'll be like, if I keep on like shutting my eyes, I know I'm gonna get sleep paralysis. But I'd like want to see if I could. That's how I eventually like got over it. But like I would actually try and get it when I feel that little tingling feeling. I'll be like, okay, let me continue and see if I can actually break this. And I mean, like, there's like when I found out it wasn't just like me, it was like an actual thing, like sleep paralysis is an actual thing. Then I was like, there has to be some way to break this. You know what I'm saying?
It was really scary because I thought at the time I thought it was a dream, because I was like, there's no way that was real. It's because I had because I was so young. Well, because I was 12, I had no knowledge of it being known as sleep paralysis. I was like, it's just a dream. It's just a dream. But it felt so real, and it's because it was real. And that's what scared me afterwards, is when I found out, 14, 15, and I was like, oh, you guys heard this thing about sleep paralysis? I was like, what the hell's that? And it's like, oh, it's just when we just explained it to you, and I'd be like, that's pretty cool. And I was like, bro, that's happened to me, that ain't nice, that ain't fucking nice. And so I when I first ever had it happen to me, I just tried my hardest. I can't remember if it's happened ever again. I can't remember.
You never had it, Mitchell?
Nope.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
I kind of want to though.
No, you don't.
No, you do not.
No. I can understand that.
I get
that.
Yeah, I get that.
But
like, what?
Let me say this: if you experience it and you don't know how to handle it, you will like proper like you'll be so afraid.
Yeah.
You'll be so scared.
I know that. I just still want to experience it though.
So people say, I've always wanted to break a leg or an arm. I was like, okay.
Yeah, Denzel said that so many times.
I actually did as well. I wonder what it's like breaking an arm.
I wonder.
I know.
To be fair, I do wonder what it's like. I've never actually broken a proper bone.
Ask Denzel.
It's not too bad, to be fair. Like when you have the arm in the cast,
I've always
leg in the cast, then it sucks.
I've always wanted to know what it's like to be hit by a car. I'd be like,
I just want to know what it's like to die.
Yeah.
Basically saying now.
And like, by the way, like some guy like joined the channel like I don't know, like half an hour ago, and he says your channel sucks, you're really trash, fuck your family, you bitch loser. I was like, okay.
Did someone say that?
Yes, in the chat. I just like talk about like the fucking.
That's actually funny.
That is so funny. We're talking about like aliens at that point. I'm
It's
like,
not even like. It's obviously super rude, but it's just funny at the same time.
it's just so funny. Because, you know, he just joined, isn't it? What was it? Final Friday Gamer. It's like, but yeah.
What a man. What an absolute man.
Absolute mad lad.
Hope we see him around.
Oh, I hope he joins in.
Stab him!
Oh, he's still here! He just said, fuck your channel!
Yeah.
He's still here! Oh, man.
So this dude's watching, he really hates it.
Yeah, as I say, because I've had one viewer for a very long time, and I don't know who it was. And it must have been him. My man's. Oh, so.
He's your super fan.
Big
At
ups.
least he's watching.
Big ups.
That's
Big
a win.
ups.
That's
Big
a
ups,
win
Final
for
Friday
us.
Gamer. Big ups. But, you know, I'd say everything. I'd say fucking sleep paralysis. You don't want that. You don't want that shit.
Yeah, dude.
Do you believe in ghosts, Mitchell?
No, I've already said no.
Thomas?
Probably not.
Probably not. Fair.
Yeah, probably not.
Ghosts are a bit stupid. God. But you know, I think, yeah. And aliens, I think aliens must be real because there's no way it's not.
Can't be the only place with beings.
I was actually so close to saying something then, but I don't know if I can be rude on this podcast or not.
Nope. Can't be rude.
Good job I didn't then.
Don't you dare.
We're good people.
Family friendly.
So yeah, basically, with all of that, I mean, with aliens, I feel like they are real, but like, you know, they're probably not to like what we think they are. But they could be even more developed. They could be even more advanced, or just little like germs.
Germs.
They're just on like a goddamn on like an asteroid, just a little bit of bacteria.
Fucking germs.
Germs, bro. And that's what an alien could be. It could just be nothing. But yeah, other than that. Aliens.
How awful must that be to exist and just be a germ?
Yeah, think about that. Like, we are an amazing species, and then you got like bacteria.
Man's back.
Basically, Denzel, I was just saying.
Out.
I was just saying, this guy like joined the channel, like just watching. He just commented like about half an hour ago. He was like, "Was it your channel sucks? You're really trash. Fuck your family, you bitch loser."
What's his name?
Final Friday Gamer.
Nice.
Absolutely bad,
Oh
lad.
god.
Does anyone want to play Rainbow with me, by the way?
I could, yeah. I could.
One more phase. Where's that?
I'll play
It's
Rainbow.
so good.
But yeah, I think that's all I've got on the topic list. Is that all I've got? Oh, there's like more like stuff to do, like Mount Rushmore, but and stuff like that. But you know,
Gay.
so gamers, what do you think about Denzel? What do we think about Denzel? Gamers. He just called you dumbasses. By the way, your friends are your friends are dumbasses too, and just like you're. It's the wrong "you're," but you know it's all right. It's all right.
It's alright, we'll let him off.
It's we'll let him off.
He's clearly an old there, we'll let him off.
Yeah, he's trying, bless him. But yeah,
Being a troll is hard work.
it's really hard. But no, last question of today's game. There might be another question, but this might be like one of the last questions. The last question. Ready? Are you ready? What do you think of Denzel Gamers? What do we think of Denzel? Thomas.
Oh, that's a hard one. I've been put on the spot.
Do you want to come back?
I want to think of Denzel. I think of black. Instantly. Obviously think it's black.
Okay.
It's darkness. But I don't just think of black. I think of warm milk chocolate man. That's what I think of.
That's good. That's good.
A nice one.
Denzel's Cocoa Pops.
I'm Cocoa Pop.
Oh.
I think of Galaxy, but Galaxy sucks penis, so then I think Cadbury.
Fair, fair.
Denzel's a nice Cadbury.
Fair. Mitchell, do you have a less racist view? Or more?
Worth giving a comment on.
Is Denzel not worth it?
Might be racist.
Okay. Connor, what do you think of Denzel?
Can't ride a quad bike straight.
Jesus Christ, I actually can, thank you very much.
Okay, fair. I mean, that's understandable though. That's understandable.
I get that.
Right, you should do a live stream on Sweet Rainbow gameplay.
Jesus Christ. Final Friday Gamer said, also stop talking like you're all smart. I mean...
Who is this guy? Who actually, I bet he goes to CWA. I bet he goes to CWA as well.
Nah, he's fine. He's
Big C Dub.
He's my man. Big up
Who is
Friday.
he? Is he subscribed to you?
No, but big up.
What, so how's he find your channel?
Right, it's a live stream. Anyone can find it anywhere. Fucking Obama could be like, what's on YouTube these days? And he just.
Well, I mean,
just
he's a lizard. So
He is a lizard. He's a reptilian. And then Denzel. No. What do I think? What do I think? I think Denzel. I think he's a good man. You know. I think he's got his morals all sorted out. I think his life is as good as me, and I'm basically a god. So I'd say Denzel. What I think of you is you're a good man. Well-rounded, you're a well-rounded individual. And Denzel, our question for you is, what do you think of yourself?
I don't know. I don't really like.
Denzel's for us now.
You don't understand Death or Spritz or Allens. I do not understand the Allens.
Shut up, dog.
He just commented it.
You don't understand Death or Spritz and Allens. Not spirits and aliens.
And Allens.
Spritz.
What a quote. Spritz
Leave
and Allens.
Big up Friday Gamer.
He probably knows more than us since he's spelling it the correct way.
Yeah, Spritz and Allens. He's absolutely mad, man. Yeah, but Denzel, what do you think of yourself? We haven't got to that.
Oh,
honestly,
Denzel.
just say anything.
We want your opinion on yourself.
That's aliens to us.
Yeah.
Fuck me, you're the most useless person on the planet.
Yeah, I'm a yeah.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. I'm an interesting individual.
Alright, so that's all the time we've got for.
And that's why you're wrong.
And that's all the time we've got for. I hope you guys love this installment of our first ever Crashcast. We might make more in the future.
Actually watch it?
Yeah, we got 2 views at the minute.
Me.
That's Thomas and that's Thomas and the hater. So that's, I mean, it's really good.
I want to see what he's doing on Minecraft, right? Leave me alone.
I know more than you. You don't,
I know more than you.
I respect that.
Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Did everyone enjoy it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. We'll have, I don't know what topics to talk about next. I'll put some more research into stuff. I think you guys should do some research too, at least.
Nope.
To be fair, I got loads of stuff we can talk about. I was just letting you, like...
Fuck you. Just like, fuck you.
Please, someone comment rainbow.
I will win it after now. Right, that was our first episode of Crashcast. I really do hope you enjoyed it. And in the words of our most loving fan, Final Friday Gamer, fuck you all.
Wait, did he comment that?
Yeah.
Oh my god. What a guy. What a
Classic. What a man.
Yeah, bye.
Decent. What a geek.
Decent. Oh.